So Disney has decided to scale back Snow White premiere amid controversies. What controversies? Well, let's get into it. Let's go to video.
If Disney isn't excited about this movie, then why should I be excited? Disney's entire attitude with this movie right now is, let's just get this over with.
So Peter Dinklage, he said, literally, no offense to anyone, but I was a little taken aback when they were very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You're progressive in one way, but then you're still making this effing backward story about seven dwarves living in a cave together. What the F are you doing, man?
Snow White will be played by a Latina in Disney's upcoming live-action remake, and conservatives are throwing a tantrum over it.
There's a lot of controversy regarding this film, mainly the cast. The main ones being Rachel being very pro-Palestine, and Gal Gadot, who is an Israeli Zionist, being outspoken about supporting it. In addition to that, a lot of just Republican Disney adults don't like Rachel because she's very outspoken about major issues, as well as Snow White not being the usual adaptation or original animation of the original movie. I saw blind items about them basically hating each other and at each other's throats when they were presenting at the Oscars.
So I was barely paying attention to the Oscars, but when I heard them say, presenting the next award, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, I was like, wait a minute, what? The way I sat up so quick and watched them walk out together, the way Rachel was like, let's just get this over with. Let's get my obligation over with. Because the way she just was like, she marched onto the stage. That girl did not walk. She was just like, I just want this over with. And then the way she was just smiling, it was like that smile. Like if you're a server or you work in customer service, that's that smile you give when someone is completely pissing you off, but you're trying not to let it fully show. So you just do that. You just do that smile. And that's literally what Rachel was giving the whole time. And I'm like, you know what, girl? You do you, boo, because I'm with you. I'm with you.
Liberals don't want to see the new Snow White movie because they don't want to support Gal Gadot because she's a Zionist. Conservatives don't want to see the new Snow White movie because they don't want to support Rachel Zegler because she's a feminist. Fans of acting don't want to see the new Snow White movie because they don't want to watch Gal Gadot fumble another line delivery. So now my question is, who is going to see this movie?
Well, it looks like Disney agrees with you. Let's put it up full mass. Here we go. Disney is hosting a Hollywood premiere of Snow White this weekend, but the studio will not be rolling out a red carpet like usual. The afternoon festivities will include a pre-party and screening with stars, Rachel Zegler and others expected to attend. However, the red carpet will not include the dozens of media outlets usually invited by Disney to interview the cast and creatives at its premieres. Instead, coverage will be limited to photos and the house crew. I'm sorry. And this isn't funny, but I mean, damn. We are in the Twilight Zone. Or at least if Earth went to the new density, we didn't make it. So toxic Disney fans questioned Snow White being played by Zegler when her casting was announced because she is a Latina actor. The West Side Story star also faced backlash when she called the 1937 original dated because the prince literally stalks Snow White. End quote. In an interview with the Variety at D23 2 years ago, Zegler said, quote, she's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. That sounds like a message of empowerment to me. But not to others, all right? So world politics also play into this. Zegler has promoted Free Palestine on social media at the same time. Gadot who is Israeli, has become an outspoken supporter of Israel on social media, as well as in a passionate speech she delivered on March 4th when she was honored at the Anti-Defamation League's annual summit in New York City. Quote, "Never did I imagine that on the streets of the United States and different cities around the world, we will see people not condemning Hamas, but celebrating, justifying, and cheering on a massacre of Jews," she said in part. Now, once again, miscontextualization. Some called it intentional propaganda, but we know the truth that individuals who stood for the life of Palestinians, they were not saying, "and we stand for Hamas." But once again, that was conflated during the speech, made people upset. MAGA supporters also blasted Zegler for her reaction to Donald Trump's reelection when she posted on Instagram, in part, "May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace." She apologized for her remark 2 days later. Well, Trump isn't giving them peace, ironically. They are in, well, an upheaval. Let's put it up full mass. And then to add to the chaos of this, Peter Dinklage spoke out about the movie's portrayal of little people for perpetrating negative stereotypes. Literally, quote, "literally, no offense to anything, but I was sort of taken aback," he said on the WTF with Mark Maron show podcast, January 2024. Quote, "They were very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White, but they're still telling the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Take a step back and look at what you're doing." Disney said in a statement to Good Morning America, "To avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, we are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community." That movie ain't coming. If it comes out, I'd be surprised. But if it does come out, obviously they're not going to get the bang for the buck that they assumed. So, Senator, it seems like a lot of things that were already happening. Disney knew this. So it's not as if Disney didn't know these individuals are outspoken, that they were playing into particular stereotypes. Like, they knew this. And typically you see an agency, they're willing to offend on some level, and then they will apologize afterwards for other things. What do you make of this?
I want to know what genius thought that this was okay to put all those people together like this. You know, this has everything in it. You want to talk about a brew. We got political, social, and racial all stirred up into that pot, baby. Yeah, I don't know what Disney was thinking. And you're right. If this film comes out, it's going to flop. When it comes to the stereotypes, you know, some of those things, I think the dwarfism stuff has some validity to it. And it is called Snow White. And I'm being very sarcastic. I want our audience to know. So, you know, they called it Snow White for a reason. So they wasn't really willing to call it Snow Brown or just take it all the way. Go ahead and call it Snow Black, baby. They not willing to do that. And it just reminds me of what Halle Bailey had to go through, you know, on the racial part of it, because we could take it from the racial lens, we could take it from the political lens, or we could take it from the social lens. But just focusing in on now on the racial side. You know, remember when Little Mermaid came out, Halle Bailey was attacked as if mermaids absolutely cannot be black. You know, perish the thought. So, you know, this film and the bringing together these different types of people from different political, racial, ethnic is really showing us the problems that we still have in the United States of America. That's it. Yeah. This is just a microcosm of all the mess we got brewing right now in these United States of America. It just happens to be the remake of Snow White.
There you go. There you go. And it is interesting because it's really a permeation of all of the various social ills and fights and conflicts that we're having in our political conversation.